Alright, hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, and this is like the second long form video, because the last one was a like 20, almost 30 minute, very boring video of me telling you where I was. As you can see, I'm in the same place as that video, and as where my EP stuff was made, so, you know. Not a lot's changed, just the camera angle and the phone I'm recording on, well, the device I was recording on. Last time, it was a webcam I borrowed. Before that, I had a phone for all my reels, and now I've got a new phone, and that's why I'm making this video mainly, because I want to use it for stuff. That's enough rambling though. What's this video about? Well, if you read the title, stupid, you'd know it's 15 facts about my EP To and Fro. Now, why am I making this video almost 6 months, half a year, after I've released the EP? Because I want to, why not, huh? You're watching it, aren't you? So, why are you asking? Just enjoy the video, because you're not going to get many of them, because I can't be arsed. I'm just going to be honest with that. So yeah, I'm just going to run through 15 facts, 3 per song on the EP, just about the songs, and just some behind the scenes stuff. Just some cool stuff for you guys. Also, this video is inspired by Daniel Palmer, fellow musician, has done some pretty good stuff. I definitely recommend having a listen, especially to his solo album that came out. He released a remix not too long ago, and it's pretty good stuff. But he did a story on his Instagram, Daniel Palmer Music. I'll put in the link in the description, and it was like just 10 facts about his EP, you know, 1 per slide if you know Instagram stories. No, not his EP, what am I on about? His debut solo album. And I found it really interesting. It had some really interesting information. I thought maybe you guys would be interested in some facts about my own stuff. So, here we are. Well, anyway, let's get the waffling out of the way. Let's get into the video. So, starting with the track More, Fact 1. So, originally I wrote this song on the piano. So, yeah, I wrote it on this down-tuned piano at my dad's house. And I was like, oh, I like that chord progression. Yeah, and I wrote the chord progression down. And I came up with, I think, maybe the first 2 verses and maybe even the chorus back at that point, and I just quite liked it, and I stuck with those lyrics. I changed them, a couple of words to fit this new rhythm when I was getting to recording it. But yeah, it was originally written on piano at my dad's house, and the lyrics were written there as well. Not a lot really changed, apart from the fact there's no piano on the track. Up until the last minute, I seriously intended to record a piano, but you can't see it. There's a keyboard down there, and I was going to record it on that because it's a lovely 88 key thing, but I didn't have a sustain pedal, so it would just sound like crap. And I didn't have access to like any proper piano or anything like that. So at the last minute I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. And the chord progression you can hear mainly on acoustic guitars, Capo on 4 I believe, if anyone's interested in playing it, and just some nice open chords. Fact number 2. So the EP title, which is in the chorus of this song, that's why I'm bringing it up during this song, To and Fro, actually comes from a Syd Barrett solo piece, or solo song, called Octopus, off his debut solo album, The Madcap Laughs. I've got that right. And I just quite like the song, I like the lyric, it stuck with me, I wrote into the song, and then when I was deciding on the title I was thinking, what should I name the EP? Went through a couple titles and I was like, you know what? To and Fro. Very simple, kind of catchy and memorable. So there we go. And that was the EP title sorted. Fact number 3, final one for this song. So there's a slight crackle that you can maybe hear on the bass at the end as the song fades out. So as the last note plays the boom, there's a slight crackle. That actually comes from a slight issue with my amp. You can't see anything in this room because I've got the camera positioned so high, but there's an amp over there that I used, but the amp I used for bass and guitar. Preamp tube was dying in it, as it turns out. I took it to the wonderful people at Intersound in Leicester, and got that sorted. It sorted the problem for a while. I think the other preamp tubes are now on their way out, so I'm going to have to take another trip down there. But yeah, so the slight crackle came because the preamp tube was dying, and it was very hard to like get rid of it because I'm not an expert at getting rid of things like that. And so you end up with the boom, which is my lovely impression of it, which I'm sure you're glad to hear. So moving on to Junkie Town, the second track on the EP. Fact number 4. It was the first song I recorded vocals for. Almost forgot the fact then. So the ones you hear on the EP, I recorded them first. That's the end of the facts pretty much. However, if you go onto my Instagram, go follow it if you're not already. I posted some images from that session where the microphone was backwards in the image, but we sorted that. And yeah, there's just photos from that session. Of course there's photos from all different sessions, but that's the only vocal session I have photos from, I'm pretty sure. Fact number 5, for some of you more musically minded watching this video, you will know it's a 12-bar blues bass song in A. Now, for people who don't really know what that is, it's just a chord structure, and it's like a template that a lot of old 50s, 60s rock and roll songs, I think Elvis, Little Richard, people like that, songs followed. If you go listen to those songs, if you find one in A, and then listen to it alongside my song, you'll listen to it and go, oh yeah, same chords, same progression. And it's just a really simple songwriting tool, and it's great for improvisation. But yeah, just a fun little fact. Also, to add on to that fact, almost forgot about this, it had a different title and different lyrics originally. I wrote them, I believe, on a train. I was going up to Liverpool on a train, and I was writing them there, and I was quite happy with them, but then I decided, you know what, it repeats too much of what some of the other songs are saying. Let's change the lyrics up and use it as sort of a diversion from the overall concept. And that's how you got the lyrics and the title that appear on the final EP. Don't know why I said that so funny. Finally, fact number 6, there is a key change to the key of D blues. If you don't notice it, you will when you hear the bow now na 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 na, the build up to it, and then it suddenly like gets higher. Key change. Why did I do that? Well, the 12-bar blues get really repetitive when there's no lyrics to like kind of like get yourself interested in. When it's just improvised guitar solo work, you go, it's just the same thing over and over again. So I thought I'd change it, make it a bit more interesting, so you go, oh, that's nice, I like that. Something to keep the listeners, you lot, interested. So moving on to song number 3 on the EP, When I Get Home, we have fact number 7. I believe this is the earliest written song of all of them on the EP. The first one I wrote the chords and actually wrote lyrics for, but not the lyrics you hear. Originally it went under the title Tan Man, which was kind of a nickname I got because I used to wear an outfit that was all tan. Tan jacket and tan like cargos. I have some tan cargos on now, as you can see, barely. But yeah, and so it's a nickname I got because everything was just matching tan, and then I'd have like a black t-shirt like this on. The original lyrics were based more on myself and just some self-description things and some extra things I threw in there. But I changed it to fit the concept of the EP that I'd brought in better. And that's how you got When I Get Home. As you can probably hear, the lyrics fit the concept of the EP better. So fact number 8, this song, the solo of it, was for some reason really hard for me to nail. It took me almost 100 takes to get, and I ended up sitting on the floor beneath me. I'm on a chair now, but I ended up sitting on the floor recording it, and that's when I got it take 97, I believe. Which you might be listen to it and go, that isn't very hard. It's not. I can nail it now, probably no problem, probably 2 or 3 takes. But for some reason, I was just not there mentally or physically for it, and I couldn't get it in like a few takes that it should have. I should have got it in, and boom, almost 100 takes later, I got it, and it's on the EP now, and it sounds pretty good. So yippee! Fact number 9, the final one for this song. The lyrics in the bridge, if you listen to it, quite fast. Like, the lines just like instantly go bam, bam, bam. And I tried it in one take, but to no avail. I ran out of breath by like the end of the second line. And so the song is actually recorded in technically 4 takes, where I do line 1 and 3 on one of the takes, and lines 2 and 4 on a different take. And then I double track the take, so that's why there's 4. That's a whole production mixing thing. So if you know what double tracking is, you know what it is. If you don't, you don't. End of story. So track 4 on the EP, A Certain Grip brackets on Me, leads us into fact number 10. So fact number 10. So the wind you can hear at the beginning and end of the song is actually a Moog synthesizer. Well, a plugin of one anyway. And it came about very last minute because I bought a Universal Audio bundle, which is no longer available, sadly. So, RIP to that bundle. But it had a Moog synth in it. I was having a mess about through the presets. Found this one just called Wind, and I was like, oh, what's that? Pressed it, and I liked it. And so there's a nice build up and come down with the Wind synth. Fact number 11. So for, again, more musically minded people, the song was recorded in a 4/4 time signature all the way through, which for some of you that have listened to the song and you know about time signatures, you'll think, no, the verses are in 6/8 because that's a weird timed riff. But no, I use triplets. So basically all that means is every beat on the click I play 3 notes. It threw my drummer through a loop. Good old Jamie McCallum from Waterside Studios. That's the kind of what he's into now. So I'll link both his like music stuff and Waterside Studios in the description. Led to a couple arguments, amongst some other arguments that were probably my fault, I'll be honest. I was a bit of a goof when making the EP, especially like during the recording process. So number 12, due to the weird like 6/8 triplet feel of the riff, I struggled with the vocals. I did some takes inside of college where I was recording most of the vocals for the EP, and I did a sort of swingy thing where it's like, "You used to be so hot." So very like jazzy feeling thing. And then it ended up changing when I got here home and recorded them, and it was a bit more of a straightforward thing because I just felt that fit better. So yeah, you could have ended up with some completely different vocals if I decided to stick with what I was doing. But I changed my mind, as I always like to. Also, fun little thing, the like pitch and everything and like the tonality of the voice, inspired by Child in Time by Deep Purple. Go and have a listen to that song because it's a pretty good song. It's a long one, but it's pretty good. So moving on to the final track of the album and the final 3 facts of this video. So fact number 13. The phone sound you hear at the beginning, like the phone ringing, is actually also that same Moog synth plugged in. But instead of using a preset, this time I actually went through and synthesized the sound myself. Which is why it fades, when it goes doo doo, you might hear as it gets closer to the voicemail bit, it starts to get quieter and a bit weirder in tone. And that's because I just didn't know how to fix it, and so I was just like, well, it's gotta get out, this EP's gotta get out there. And so I just rolled with it. So fact number 14, the voicemail voice, or the automated voicemail voice that you can hear, is actually Microsoft Text-to-Speech. Not AI. I don't like AI. If you use AI, you're brain dead, and probably talentless. Unless you use it for just fun. But if you use it for serious jobs, screw you. Because AI is taking my bloody job, and I'm not having it. I am not having it! But yeah, it's Microsoft Text-to-Speech. I can't remember which voice preset, but if there's a website, I'll link it in the description. They have the voices from Microsoft Text-to-Speech, and I use one of them, so I'm sure you can have a look through on that site and figure out which one it is, because I can't remember. I wanted it to sound like, your typical voicemail, which is like some kind of robotic, normally sampled voice. And that fit the bill. Ran it through a tape sim plugin, and that got it to sound like it's on a phone and not just I downloaded it off a website. There's that. So fact number 15, I wrote the reprise for More, which is this track, as a means to not only just call back to the first track, but also show a bit of development of the character, which is where all the songs are sung from. Right, what I mean is, all the songs are sung from the point of view of this character. There we go. I'm really bad at explaining things. That's why my last video turned into a long video. I'm going to cut this one down, I hope, to like 15 minutes at most. But we'll see. So I'm going to throw in a little bonus fact, which is about the overall EP. It's not just about one specific track. And that is, the concept of the EP is to do with the aftermath of the end of a relationship. Why did I come to this idea of the concept? Don't know. But the reason why I decided to throw a concept for the EP is my good friend Charlie Simmons Music, again, will be linked in the description, who helped with this EP, was talking to me about his EP he was making at the time, Solitude. I don't think he wants you to listen to it. But either way, I'll just link him in the description. I'm sure you'll find the EP that way. Yeah, he told me he was doing like an EP to help build his... He was doing a concept for his EP to help build his EP. And I was like, you know what? That's a great idea. And I decided to also run with my own sort of concepts. And I thought, you know what? That's going to help me build lyrics. And also keep everything a bit tighter together, because I wasn't sure how similar everything would sound. Pretty similar in the end, because I used the same instruments and I didn't stray too far in terms of genre. It helps to keep it tight together. So yeah, that's the concept of the EP, in case you missed it, and I was mentioning it a lot. So if you've got to this point, congratulations, and now you know what the concept is in case you missed it, which I wouldn't be surprised if you did. I probably would have if I didn't make the bloody thing. That's the end of this video. I'm hopefully going to cut it down so it's not too long, because I'm looking at Audacity and the timer on my phone, and I'm not liking those numbers. It's going to be a lot of cutting down, or it's going to be another long video of me stuttering and rambling and basically a boring video. But I'll put my music in the background, so hopefully it's a bit more uplifting than the stupid loop that I made for the previous one. By the way, if you don't know what my previous video is, you don't have to go watch it. I wouldn't recommend watching it. It's extremely boring. It's just an update, because I disappeared for a while, and I did another disappearing act again for a while. But I'm back, and I made this bloody video for you, so I hope you're happy. Thanks for watching. Consider liking the video if you did like it. Comment to give me some feedback. Hopefully I'll make some more videos like this now that I've got that phone with more storage on it and everything. But who knows? And consider subscribing for future content and future music. Maybe at some point. I don't know. We'll see. I've got some songs that I've written. But you won't know unless you bloody subscribe and go follow all my socials and that. And then you'll get any updates when I do release music. So yeah. That's the end of the video. Goodbye.